Jay Velez Mitchell, very, very, wow, shocking breaking news to bring you. We're going to go straight out to Sacramento, California, where 76
cover the camera.
Linda Middlesworth has just been released from jail after spending many, many hours in jail. She was protesting with direct action everywhere. I don't know if this is you being arrested, but it sure looks like it. Were you wearing a yellow vest?
No, that's not me. That's Paul.
Okay, so you had a whole bunch of arrests. It made local news. 19 activists arrested at the California state capitol. You weren't one of the ones who chained yourself, but we're going to take a look at the local news coverage that it got.
Protesters climbed the state capitol building today and chained themselves to the building. 3 people made their way to a second-floor balcony. They chained themselves together and to the railing. They also put up that banner calling for an animal bill of rights. They're also calling for a moratorium on new slaughterhouses in California. CHP officers called in the fire department, and they put up a ladder so that officers could take those protesters into custody.
They are there, they are waiting, They do not want to leave unless we have a conversation with Gavin Newsom. As soon as Gavin Newsom agrees to a conversation, we're happy to unlock ourselves and walk away and have a negotiation with him.
Well, no surprise, that did not happen. The protesters were arrested. Organizers say a total of 17 people were taken into custody.
There you go. We actually lost Linda for a second.
Protesters climbed the state.
We lost Linda for a second, but she's a 76-year-old lady who's trying to get on to talk to us because she was so upset. And, you know, she's not the first one to have a situation like this. Take a look at this animal activist in London getting arrested. She's obviously a senior citizen as well. So it's extremely disturbing. Here is direct action everywhere outside or inside one of the state capitals that they are visiting. And what they would like to see is a moratorium on slaughterhouses and factory farms in California. They also went to Governor Gavin Newsom's home yesterday, demanding that in the wake of COVID, which has obviously killed more than 200,000 Americans, it's a zoonotic disease that jumps from animals to humans that was first spotted in Wuhan, China, picked up by people who had all been associated in some way with a wet slaughter market. Even though people have been trying to distance COVID from that slaughter market, the forces that be, that's where it first cropped up. And obviously there are other zoonotic diseases that we can talk about as Linda attempts to get back on. We may just have to call her on the phone and listen to her. So there you see, swine flu is from pigs, mad cow disease is from cows, SARS is from bats and civets, but it goes to the food chain. And I think we have her back. There you go. Okay, tell us your story. Linda.
Linda. I don't know which one.
Well,
Linda, you're on.
Yeah, hold on, I'm almost there.
No, you're there. Talk to us. Yeah, okay. Just talk. Tell us what happened. Look and speak. Stop looking at the computer and speak.
This was one of the most harrowing experiences of my life. I know that I did not expect to be arrested at all. I wouldn't have gone. I didn't want to be arrested because I get pneumonia very easily and I cannot have COVID ever because I think that would kill me off. So I went very peacefully walking with the other activists to the front of the Capitol steps. And I've been an activist all my life. Well, not all my life, for the last 32 years, feels like all my life. And I've never been arrested in front of the Capitol building ever. And I've been there many times with different activities. So to be arrested and put into a COVID-friendly environment, and I mean it's COVID-friendly. I know why the prisons have so much COVID now. I know firsthand. So
what happened? Lay it out. You were arrested. You were cuffed. What did you say to police? You were standing on the steps of the state capitol in California, holding a sign. What happened?
What happened is all of a sudden, the police on horseback came, and then the ground police came, and they started circling us, and they didn't tell us what they were doing. They just said, sit down, you're being detained. They didn't tell us why. They didn't say, you can leave. If you want to leave now, do, and we won't arrest you. They just said, sit down. And they started handcuffing us one by one. I was one of the later ones to be handcuffed because I was at the end of the circle. And they came up to me with those terrible straps they put on your arms. And I said, get away from me. I get COVID. I have to social distance. So please get away from me now. And they said, get up. And they handcuffed me and they grabbed my arm and pulled me away. And I said, stay away from me. I'm 76. I get COVID easily because I get pneumonia easily. And I do not want to be in a COVID-friendly environment. Please let go of me now. I didn't do anything. I'm just standing here in front of the Capitol building. You're not giving me my right to stand here or even talk here. Oh, it went away, Jim.
No, you're here. Just keep talking, Linda. Linda, you're on.
Okay, there we are. So anyway, they grabbed me and all the other activists and threw us into this big van, which was very COVID friendly, all stacked together. Then they took us to this big hall. Am I still there? Okay.
Yes, just keep talking. I put photos on. You're still
a big hall, which took hours, and these terrible handcuffs. And I finally told them, I said, you have to take my handcuffs to the front because I broke my shoulder, and this is very painful to have my hands behind my back. So I was one of the only ones that got the handcuffs in the front, which was a lot nicer. But it was still horrible. My dogs were at home. I did not want to be there. I wanted to be social justice action for animals because that's what I care about. I want animals to be free. I want to stand up for Rose's Law, the Animal Bill of Rights, because animals have the right to be free. And they have the right not to be exploited or to have their interests. They need interests protected by law just like humans do. They need a home or a habitat or ecosystem to live in, and they have the right to be rescued from distress. And this needs to happen. In all the years I've been alive, 76 years alive, I've never seen a group is being so active to get this Animal Bill of Rights through. And we have been sending letters and giving letters, open letters to Governor Newsom's home to ask him for a moratorium on factory farms and slaughterhouses because he cares about climate change. I've heard him on TV. Governor Newsom, if you're listening, this is the best way for you to start stopping climate change. Because climate change, I hate to tell you, is almost 80% from factory farming because we have 1.5 billion cows on the earth and they produce methane, which causes climate change and the earth to heat up. So if you don't want climate change and you don't want these forest fires to deal with, then you need to listen up and let us sit down at the table. That's all we want to do is talk to you about it and get this started. Because in Germany, they're doing the same action we're doing here. And the mayor sat down with them. The mayor did. But you're not listening to us yet. You need to listen. You can go down in history as one of the greatest persons to help with climate change in the world if you sit down with us. That's all we're asking. Direct action everywhere. I have to give it to them. They are really getting this force together. And
they are considered one of the top 5 threats to the meat industry, the animal killing industry. There they are in a state capital. They visit a lot, so I don't know if this is the exact same state capital. Direct Action Everywhere has been taking a lot of direct action. Just last weekend, they were here in Los Angeles, and they also, there were many arrests as well. What you heard from Linda Middlesworth, who, by the way, is one of the founders of V-Dog Vegan Dog Food. They were arrested, about 40 people, at the state capitol and near Governor Newsom's home. And she just got out of jail telling us her story. But last weekend, Direct Action Everywhere was here in Los Angeles, and they were doing an action at Farmer John where they got into the slaughterhouse wearing hard hats and worker outfits and almost got out with a pig. Check out this dramatic video.
I don't want to make you guys feel like you're like hardcore criminals because you're not, but it's just part of our procedures.
Needless to say, all the pigs that you saw on that video died soon thereafter, their throats slit. You saw the man whose entire job is to slit their throats. Think about that. Those pigs are now being turned into Dodger dogs, bacon. So people who are walking around town saying ahimsa and I'm peaceful and I'm doing yoga and I'm nonviolent, if they're eating bacon, if they're eating hot dogs, if they're eating any dead animals or their byproducts, are really co-conspirators in the violence against animals. We invite Smithfield on anytime. We would love to dialogue with them. Even some of the heads of meat companies are now saying that the future of food is meatless. We are suffering from a zoonotic pandemic, which means it jumped from animals to humans. We're talking about the coronavirus. The coronavirus would not exist in a plant-based world. Again, it cropped up in a wet slaughter market in Wuhan, China. And we know that other zoonotic diseases all stem from animals, okay? And here, I'll give you a shot of what a wet market looks like, okay? That's a wet market in New York City. Yeah, chickens thrown in a container, you know, a shopping cart, and then they're slaughtered right on site, okay? So what we're asking people to do, and what that very courageous 76-year-old woman who had a hard time figuring out how to get on the computer just to talk to us for a couple of seconds there, what she's saying is, eating animals is why we have a COVID crisis. Not to mention, for people who are humanitarians, you know, people are dying. Slaughterhouse workers are now dying as a result of COVID-19 because the slaughterhouses are hotbeds of COVID-19. So I just want to show you one photo that I have of a woman who is a slaughterhouse worker who is hospitalized from COVID-19. We know that COVID-19 is a hotspot of slaughterhouses are a hotspot of COVID-19. So for all those reasons, animal agriculture, a leading cause of climate change, because trees absorb carbon. We've destroyed a huge percentage of the trees on this planet to create farmland, but it's not feeding people, it's feeding animals. Okay, we're 7.6 billion humans. We're raising and killing 70 billion land animals who are eating most of the food. 76% of all soy goes into farm animals, not to humans eating tofu. So, you know, we're just asking everybody in this time of crisis, look into your heart, because nature has said, go to your rooms, think about how you're behaving and evolve, or we could all be done as a species. Literally, we like to think of ourselves as omnipotent, but if the planet becomes too hot to support life, and it was just 130 degrees, not far from where I am in LA a couple of weekends ago, if that temperature continues to accelerate, become too hot to support human life. So we've got the wildfires that are devastating the lives of so many people. We know from a new CNN report what experts and Scientologists and conservationists have been saying. 68% of all wildlife on this planet has already been destroyed. There's only one tiny thing we need to change. We just need to go from eating dead animals to eating all the wonderful alternatives that are better for our health. You know, for those who want to even survive the coronavirus, avoiding those underlying conditions like obesity, heart disease, cancer. Processed meat, which is a lot of the meat that's going to end up coming from those dead pigs that we just saw while they were still alive before their throats had been slit. Processed meat is officially cancer causing, according to the World Health Organization. So Dr. Melanie Joy, who is a Harvard-trained social psychologist who has written many books, has coined a new term. First, she coined the term carnism, which is the belief that humans have that they are entitled to eat animals, that they must eat animals. Even though, if you think about it, we're not carnivores. When you see roadkill on the side of the street, do you salivate, pull over, and try to eat that dead squirrel? No, hopefully. We have to put all sorts of spices on our dead animals in order to want to eat them. But now she's coined the term carnistic privilege. And carnistic privilege is when people who eat animals regard a minor inconvenience as a major violation of their rights. So, you know, you have other privileges. We all know about that in our global conversation about race and ethnicity and religion and intersectionality. We know about other privileges, but there is something called carnistic privilege, where we are just asking people who eat animals, please, we've created all these products that taste just like dead animals. We have Impossible Foods. We have Beyond Meat Burger. We have Gardein. We have Tofurkey. We have Miyoko's vegan cheeses that taste just like dairy. They're all winning awards. Can you please just switch over to that so we don't destroy our planet and have more pandemics? And people react very, very defensively. I understand. I'm a recovering alcoholic, 25 years sober. Back when I was in my disease at drinking, when people tried to talk to me about it, I was buzz off. It's my right. And yet, you know, I know now after I hit bottom and got sober, thank God I'm 25 years sober. I know they were right, but I couldn't hear it. But I did hit bottom. Okay. And when I hit bottom, I had a moment of clarity and I said, wow, who was that person? Oh my God, that was me. And that's when the window of opportunity to change occurred. This COVID pandemic is a window of opportunity for us to change. We don't have to change everything. We've made it so easy. You don't have to just eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, and grains, even though that's delicious. And I'm also trying to change during this COVID pandemic. I am eating healthier. Okay, I was kind of a junk food vegan, and I'm trying to, I'm having cantaloupes and apples and pears and brown rice and yes, tofu. I'm eating very, very basic, and I've taken off about 13 pounds and I feel better. I have tons of energy. Not that I didn't have energy before, but what I mean is I'm not asking anybody to do something when I'm not looking at myself. I'm trying to change too. But we're just imploring. Yes, most of us who are involved in this movement, the folks who are out there on the front lines getting arrested, literally now risking their lives, because when you're arrested today, you're risking getting COVID-19. That lady who we just saw, the 76-year-old woman, spent, I don't know, more than a dozen hours in a jail cell. Not everybody was wearing masks. So of course she's frightened. She has, she's 76. She could die as a result of that for holding a sign, for holding one of these signs that says Animal Bill of Rights outside the state capitol. Now, she's willing to do that because she really feels, as do I, as do millions of others, that A, we don't need to eat animals to survive. We know that statistically we're healthier. 1 out of 4 people prior to COVID died of heart disease. That's arteries to the heart getting clogged with plaque. Plaque comes from cholesterol. Cholesterol is produced by animals. There's zero cholesterol in any vegan product. Go and research it. You will not find zero cholesterol in Beyond Meat burgers. Okay, so we could eliminate heart disease. We could reduce cancer, which comes from to a large degree eating processed meat. Okay, that is officially cancer causing. And red meat is a likely carcinogen. So we could eliminate that. We could eliminate human world hunger. If we stop feeding the 70 billion animals that we kill every year, we would have so much food left over. We could divert all that soy, the 75% of all soy produced that's fed to farm animals. We could divert it to children starving right now in third world countries. Ditto for corn and wheat and all the other staples that are now being fed to farm animals. We could avoid a pandemic in the future because this is not the deadliest pandemic. Remember, in the 14th century, half of Europe was wiped out by the Black Death. There are deadlier pandemics that could hit mad cow disease, swine flu, SARS, bird flu, MERS, coronavirus. These there are potentially deadlier pandemics. So, and then there's, do we really want to participate in this? Is this who we are? People who say they're animal lovers. I mean, this is a nice shot. This is like a hotel for pigs compared to how they're kept generally in crates. But look at this picture. Is this what we want to be as a species? I mean, I think the time has come for some soul searching on this issue. And all we're asking is people who are willing to risk their lives, all we're saying is think about it. Think about transitioning to eating more of what nature put on our plate. If you don't eat a chicken, okay? If you don't eat a chicken, the chicken walks away. If you don't eat vegetables, the vegetables rot. What does that tell you? So thank you for listening. I'm glad you had a chance to hear Linda Middlesworth, the 76-year-old woman who was arrested for holding a sign outside the California state capitol. And I hope she doesn't come down with COVID, and I pray that she's healthy. But if she's willing to risk her life to send this message, please be at least willing to open your mind and your heart for 2 seconds and consider the possibility that all of those people who are saying, let's move away from eating animals might have a point. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you next time on Jane Unchained.